Welcome to the Time Management Podcast with me, your host, Abigail Barnes. I'm a productivity coach, global speaker, time management author, and award-winning entrepreneur on a mission to share the 888 formula with the world and to remind you that it's your time. Leave it to me to bring you new time management tips, tricks, tools, and strategies, to introduce you to guests, research, and case studies from around the world, and to give you a simple 5-step process you can follow to uplevel your productivity, achieve your goals, and create a life that exceeds your wildest dreams. I'm so excited that you're here, so let's get started. Welcome to the show. It's you and me today for a conversation all about, is your mindset killing your productivity? Nobody else sees the world how you do. There are multiple versions of the truth and an infinite number of possible outcomes. This week on the podcast, we'll be discussing what can happen if you lean into unknowing what you know, questioning your decision-making processes, and embracing a new mindset in the name of increased productivity. This episode is for you if you're doing all the right things, but nothing is changing. This episode is also for you if you find it hard to change your mind or see things from a different perspective. And this episode is for you if you regularly use the phrase, "I know that," and yet your results do not appear to demonstrate your extensive knowledge. Let's start with what is a fix and what is a growth mindset. And for this episode, we will be referring to the work of Carol Dweck, who is the author of this brilliant book, Mindset, The New Psychology of Success. In its very basic form, she says a fixed mindset is where your intelligence is static, and a growth mindset is where your intelligence can be developed. Why does this even really matter? Full stop. If you are living in this fixed mindset world, in that there is one way, this is the only way, and you are not going to change your mind no matter what happens, there are not infinite number of possible outcomes, there are not multiple versions of the truth, there is just one way, then your results and your life is going to become very static, as she says. However, if you can see things from a different perspective, you will be able to evolve. And why this really matters is the world is evolving, technology is evolving, nature is evolving, everything around us is evolving. So if we refuse to evolve, we are stopping ourselves from creating the possible reality that we could be living, having the success that we could be experiencing, becoming the person that we came here to become. She says that a fixed mindset is where every situation calls for a confirmation of your intelligence, your personality, or your character. Somebody with a fixed mindset holds themselves to this very static, very rigid version of the world. Versus somebody with a growth mindset, they play with the hand that they've been dealt, and they understand that this is just a starting point for development. Now, we all have different lives, we all have different circumstances, we all have different experiences, we all have different qualifications. We all started in a different place, which means we have all been dealt a different beginning in our life. So if we view this with a growth mindset, we can then build upon it, build upon it, build upon it. And it may be that we didn't start from the most excellent position that somebody else did, but we started where we started. And how many times have you heard about people who perhaps started from a very solid foundation and have gone on to achieve way less than somebody who started from a very unstable foundation? And then when you explore it, which is what I love to do for you and with you, with the guests that I bring on the podcast, is understand what is going on deeper in their mindset. So I've looked back over some podcast episodes that we have discussed over the last few months, and I want to just reference them in terms of understanding these concepts, applying these concepts, evolving yourself on the journey to becoming more productive with the time that you have within the circumstances that you find yourself experiencing. Episode 37 of the podcast is procrastination a trauma response? If you've not listened to that, it might be well worth your time to understand if your mindset is maybe more towards the growth, but you're still stopping yourself. Why are you stopping yourself? In that episode, we really dig that little bit deeper to understand if the procrastination is a form of self-sabotage versus just being outright lazy. In episode 23, we talked about how to juggle your work-life responsibilities without burning out. This is a great episode if you maybe also do have a growth mindset, but you are struggling with your productivity because you are burning out or overwhelmed with all the things that you have to get done on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, which are all very valid activities. Episode 39, efficiency and effectiveness. Now, this is such a crucial one to be having from that mindset point of view. You can be very, very, very good at the thing that won't move the needle, and you can be procrastinating over doing the thing that will. Efficiency is doing something really well. Effectiveness is doing the thing that matters next. And so, yes, we may need to be efficient at the thing we're doing next, but we first of all need to work out, is the thing that we are doing the thing that will make the difference, the thing that will move the needle? And what could stop you in this journey of, okay, Abigail, I'm on the growth mindset path. I'm aware of my procrastination habits. I'm aware of the fact that I'm burning out with all the things I'm juggling. I'm aware of my efficiency and effectiveness. My friend, episode 15, if you have not audited your time for 7 days yet, what are you even doing here? You do not need to buy a copy of my book to do this. If this is your hurdle, you can download a free chapter to get started. You can click the link in the show notes. All the instructions for how to audit your time are there. Time auditing is not rocket science. The book will support you. The book will give you case studies. The book will get you going on the journey. Investing in the book will give you a feeling of self-worth. Now, when I first heard a personal development trainer say this, I thought it was a sales tactic. They said the transformation is in the transaction. And what they meant by that was, Abigail, when you buy my training, you will get the transformation. And my brain said, yeah, okay, you just want me to buy the training. My gut instructed me to buy the training. The minute I invested in that training, I got a transformation. And that's when their words combined with my actions created a result. Because when you invest in anything, whether it's a book, whether it's a training, whether it's food, whether it's theatre tickets, whatever it is, you are saying you are worth it. You are buying it for yourself development, for yourself excitement, for yourself experience. When you invest in the book to go with the time audit, you are taking it more seriously. However, that does not need to be a hurdle. That does not need to be a block. The links are in the show notes for how to audit your time. Please, please, please audit your time. The data you will get from this will give you the information you need to drive your decisions going forward. Until then, it is all shoulda, woulda, coulda. It is all, well, of course I know where my time is going. I think I know where my time is going. Clarity you will get from those 7 days will change your life. Which then brings me on to episode 25, imposter syndrome, We truly, truly do not understand the negative stories and thought processes that are going on and running the show. We talk in that episode really around the iceberg theory, that we only see the 1/3 above the top of the water. We don't see the 2/3 below. So we only see what's obvious. And self-awareness is our key to change. The reason I refer to myself a lot in this podcast and in these conversations is because never make the mistake of assuming that I assume that I am the finished article. And in fact, any coach, trainer, or speaker, author, anybody who tries to project that or to make you feel that, run away. Nobody ever is. Which then brings me on to episode number 2, the procrastination perfection loop. This one, if you've not listened to this, might be a really good one for you. Because the whole thing with procrastination is that, in effect, one of the reasons we might be procrastinating is because we are trying to be perfect. And we get into this loop of, well, I don't have all the information and I'm not quite qualified to do it, so I need to do all this other stuff in order to be able to do it. But I don't have time to do all the other stuff, or I don't have the money to do all the other stuff. So it's not the right time to do it. I'll do it next year. If you have been around me for a while, you've listened to the podcast for a while, you've attended speaking and events that I have shared my story at, you'll know that I really strongly detest this attitude more than anything. It is one that I will constantly pull myself up on. It is one that I will, if they're a client, point out to them. If they're not, it is not my business to highlight this for anybody. I will highlight it here for you on the podcast. Do with it what you want. If you put things off, nobody is guaranteed tomorrow. Nobody is guaranteed the next minute. Nobody is guaranteed the next year. If my death experience taught me anything, it was live now. Live now, do the experiences, face the fear, keep moving forward, find the joy, evolve and become the person you came here to be, because you do not know how long you have got. And that's not meant to be, and do it irresponsibly, do it without the right setup or circumstances. Use your common sense in and around this. But if you feel like you're procrastinating and it is an excuse, call yourself up on it, because you are then creating your own mental prison. Which brings me on to the homework for this episode. Episode number 33, we talked about, are your thoughts sabotaging your time management? This episode was all centered around, once you've done a time audit, you know where your time is going, you're on the journey, audit your thoughts. Become the observer of the things, the yeah, but I should, I'm not, I haven't, it's not. All the excuses you're making, track your thoughts. This episode, if you haven't tracked your time, track your time. But the homework for this episode is really around tracking your thoughts, because we're talking about, is your mindset killing your productivity? Your mindset, your thoughts are creating your reality. Your mindset is the result of the things you keep thinking. And as always, I have to bring up episode 24, human design, when we brought on a human design expert to talk us through what is human design. This week, I want to touch on open and closed centers in relation to your head and to your ajna center. So remember, we said there are 9 centers in your body and they follow the very basic chakra system, but there are 9 centers in the human design. The head center, if you have an open head center, you are open to the world. You are open to the thoughts, the things, the viewpoints of the world. And you start thinking things that don't matter. Your mind starts processing the data that is being brought in from the outside world. If you have a closed head, you have certainty there, but that can also mean you will not change your thoughts. And then the Ajna Center is the next one down. So the Ajna Center is driven by a need for mental certainty. So if it's open, you are searching for certainty. You are doing the research. You need the data to be certain. If your Ajna Center is closed, you have a closed mind approach about things. You don't want any more data. You struggle, in fact, to receive more data and could possibly have a fixed mindset. I would encourage you to listen to that episode about human design, take the free test if you haven't already, and look at your chart to see if your head is coloured in or not coloured in, open or closed, and what impact this is going to have on your decision making and your mindset as well. And we will be getting the human design expert back on the show in a few episodes to talk to us about the next step once we have our chart and we know the basics, how we can use our design to help save us time. All the links are in the show notes. If you have any questions, please reach out. If there's anything you would like us to discuss on future episodes, please drop us an email. We'd love to hear from you. And sharing the podcast with people does help immensely. Leaving a review does help immensely. We are now reaching audiences in 91 countries around the world. So thank you for everything that you are doing to share it with friends, family, peers. Please keep doing that. And until next time, my friend, stay safe, stay well, and remember, it's your time. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. If you loved what you heard, be sure to let me know by leaving a review so I can keep the good stuff coming. Come and say hi on Instagram at Success by Design Training, or visit my website, successbydesigntraining.com, or connect with me on LinkedIn. Just search Abigail Barnes. Until next time, don't forget, you are amazing and it's your time.